Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the United Way for your latest Manchester United news and transfer rumours. Hope everybody is doing well before we get stuck in. If you are new, like the video and subscribe. Be much appreciated as always. Bit to get into Ineos' decision on Eric Ten Hag supposedly will be happening before the end of the week. I mean, tomorrow's Friday, so let's see what happens there. And a bit of news about Todibo, Olise, Brantway, all them sorts of stuff. And yeah, I mean, look, I am still looking for a fun idea to do on the channel every Friday night at least because, again, I've been going around scratching my head, trying to bang my head off a wall a few times to try and come up with a fun idea, and I haven't found one yet. But regardless, we'll still have the new show tomorrow if I haven't came up with anything yet. But I mean, look, let's get stuck into the first bit of news actually because it is interesting news. You know, any news relating to Eric Ten Hag is going to be interesting. But the fact that has it taken this long? Like, should it need to go on, for as long as it did? I mean, I really don't know what to think of it. So, coming out from Ben Jacobs, he says, I think we'll get clarity before the week ends today or tomorrow. It won't take much longer. I mean, look, I hope it doesn't take much longer because, look, I think all fans, if you want Ten Hag in or Ten Hag out, just want the decision. They just want to know, look, what the hell is going to happen? Am I going to have Ten Hag next season, or are we not? Are we going to have someone else next season? The Manchester United board are trying to take emotion out of whatever decision they make on Eric Ten Hag. They won't let the height of the FA Cup final win nor the low of some big losses this season cloud their judgment. Again, I mean, look, Ineos definitely seem to be taking a big look into what they're going to do with Eric Ten Hag. I mean, I do hope you're looking at what happened last season too, but obviously it's going to be on this season. It won't be on last season. 2 different seasons. But the fact that we won an FA Cup last Saturday and tomorrow's Friday, like, we should have known what the hell was going to happen with Eric Ten Hag. I don't know, Sunday or Monday at least. But the fact that, I wouldn't say it's went on for long. Like, it hasn't went on for 2 weeks. But, I don't know, I think it was this day last week, we got told that he'd be sacked after the FA Cup final, regardless of what happens. And then Friday, you had Jacob Steinberg come out, saying the same thing like Di Marzio said on the Thursday. And then we won the FA Cup, and now it's sort of like, right, what the hell do we do now? Because, look, we all know for a fact if we lost on Saturday, Ten Hag was gone. I think he would have been gone Saturday night. But the fact that we did win, I know, they're saying they're not letting the emotion of winning the FA Cup, cloud their judgment on Eric Ten Hag. But it's sort of a bit like, right, what do we do now? Because, people may want them to stay now, or the people that want them to go before the FA Cup final still want them to go, and that's fair enough. I still want them to stay, and that's how it is. Look, if he gets sacked, it'd be a shame, but unfortunately, it'll be what it is. But it is interesting because what the thing is look, I know the manager won't really make a difference in the transfer department now. We read the news yesterday. The manager will get options of whatever position he's strengthening, and he'll do that. He can't go out on demand a Frankie de Jong or whoever may be. But it is interesting to see what else we have to read out here. Jean-Claude Blanc is offering the arguments in favour of keeping Eric Ten Hag, with Sordell Brailsford is playing a devil's advocate role. This is to ensure every point is thoroughly examined before they come to a final decision. So again, Jean-Claude Blanc is he's in favour. He's offering out the arguments. He wants to keep Ten Hag, but Brailsford is a bit like, well, devil's advocate. You know what I mean? It is one of them. Look, you're always going to get a devil's advocate when it comes to making a decision on a manager. One person might want Ten Hag, a manager, just stay. The other person probably doesn't mind whether he stays or goes, and the other one is like, yeah, I want him gone. I don't really care what happens. Get him out of this club. But then I do hope Ineos, if they do want to sack Ten Hag, look at the manager department, look at the people who are there. You have like the people that we've been linked with anyways, who aren't really good enough. Tuchel, Pochettino, De Zerbi. We were linked to Southgate not too long ago, and I'll tell you what, stay away from him. Look, I'll be very, very surprised if we bring him in now. But if we do bring him in now, Manchester United can get fucked. But anyways, that's just my opinion. But the manager market is not good enough. And if you were to sack Ten Hag, go in for like someone like a Ruben Amorim. I know he's a Sporting and that, but go in, see what you can do, because you're going to spend money to sack him, where you may as well just, go for like a Ruben Amorim. I wouldn't mind a Ruben Amorim if we sack Ten Hag, but I want Ten Hag. That's me. So the only manager I want is Ten Hag, but as a fan, I can only say why I want them and all that sort of stuff. I can only give my opinion. I can't say he's staying. But I mean, look at Kieran McKenna as well. Actually, who we were linked to it last week. He has signed a new contract at Ipswich Town. He'll be getting around 100 grand a week. So yeah, I'm alright reading that. Yeah, I think I'm reading that wrong. I know it's Ben Jacobs anyway. So he won't be coming to Manchester United. But look, some would say he's one for the future, Kieran McKenna. But I am glad he made the decision that, look, I'm going to stay at Ipswich because I think the experience is well needed in the Premier League. No disrespect to managers in the Championship, but the Premier League is that sort of lets you know how good of a manager you really, really are. I mean, fuck's sake, wouldn't be surprised if Kieran McKenna is managing Barcelona next season. Because look at Vincent Kompany, finished 19th at Burnley, now the new manager of FC Bayern Munich. It just goes to show you don't really need a lot of manager experience in the world anymore. But please do like the video if you haven't already. Be much appreciated. But yeah, I am looking forward to. I wouldn't say looking forward, but I'm more interested to see what type of decision Ineos are going to make with Ten Hag, because I still think most of the fan base want Ten Hag to remain. Again, that's only me. I don't want to speak for anyone who wants Ten Hag to go, but it is interesting to see what else happens with him. So, Kieran McKenna, we were very, very, suppose Ineos really were interested. He wanted Kieran McKenna. Now, he's staying at Ipswich for a while. So, who do we go to then? Do you probably look to Tuchel? Because I don't want Poch. I don't want Poch. I know we're doing a decent, near the end of the season just gone. He was on a good bit of form with Chelsea, but that doesn't make a difference. And it is what it is. And tell you what, you could say Poch actually played it cool. It's like he knew we were going to win the FA Cup last Saturday. He's going like, I'm not playing in Conference League. Fuck that. But anyways, what manager? If regardless if you want Ten Hag to stay or not, if Ten Hag was to be sacked, what manager would you prefer? Because I got asked this question last week, and I did say Tuchel, but I don't want him. That's I don't want any of the managers out there at the moment. I want a Ruben Amorim. Go for a look at a Ruben Amorim. You know what I mean? If you are going I don't know why we aren't bothering with Ruben Amorim. Everyone, not everyone, but most things you watch are look at Ruben Amorim. Why are we looking at managers that aren't in a job? Look at managers that are in a job that you could get to come. Like Ten Hag was at Ajax when we brought him in. You know what I mean? Why can we not do that then? You know what I mean? Look, unless Ineos say, look, we'll keep you for another year but we're not going to extend your contract. Again, I wouldn't say even if Ineos decide to keep Ten Hag, his future is certain at Manchester United, because he still has a year left on his contract. So Ineos could come out and say, look, still not a big fan of him, but we're going to keep him for another year because, we'd rather save that money and then buy another manager and get, whatever. But another season is what they should give Ten Hag. You know what I mean? And if it doesn't work out and they sack him, well, then that's fair. He wasn't the man for the job, and then I'll hold my hands up then. But as of now, I do think he's the man for the Manchester United job. Most people are like, we should have kept Mourinho. I'm sure people that people probably are the same people that probably wanted Mourinho to get sacked. But Ben Jacobs has said Thomas Tuchel wants to move to Manchester United as he feels that there is unfinished business in the Premier League, and would almost automatically accept an offer. Some are Bayern theorised that he knows there could be a vacancy at United, and thus forced his way out. We all know Tuchel is not a manager anymore. He's free. He's out there. He's ready to take a job. Obviously he's not going to go back to Chelsea because they already brought in their new manager. So look, I'm sure he is keeping his close eyes, or keeping the ears peeled at the Manchester United job. I do think he is looking at that, because that is it very, very is interesting to see what happens with Tuchel, because I don't want Thomas Tuchel at Manchester United. I just don't want Tuchel at Manchester United. I don't want Poch at Manchester United. I don't want De Zerbi at Manchester United. If I had to pick one, it's probably Amrin. But that's because he's done a decent job at Sporting. But who's saying you could do that at Manchester United as well? I don't think it's worth second Ten Hag. Benjamin says, great show, keep it up. Thanks, man. Thanks for popping by. Much appreciated. And if anyone is new, please like the video and subscribe. Be much appreciated as always. Hopefully we can get a few more people in fairly soon. But let's see what happens. But Ben Jacobs is saying we should know a lot more about whether Ten Hag be manager or not in the next couple of days. Well, before the week is out. So tomorrow's Friday, and I always count that as pretty much the last day of the week. But we all know it's Sunday, so between now and the end of the week, it'd be interesting to see what happens with Erik Ten Hag. But like you said, Ineos don't seem to be in a big rush to make the decision on Ten Hag, and I'm sure they've been looking at what to do with Ten Hag probably when they first took over, probably when they first came in, because Ineos came in, we weren't in a great position then, but all throughout the season, most people backed Ten Hag, and so did I, even though it was annoying to see us lose every now and again, or every day. Sorry, it was. It is going to be interesting though, because you're coming on here every day to speak, and it is a bit mad, because some people that comment want De Zerbi, some people that comment want Tuchel, some people that no one's mentioned Poch, and I can see why. I'm glad no one's mentioned Poch yet, that they want him to come in. Ben Jacobs has also said Ineos are seeking feedback from some of the senior Manchester United players as part of their strategic review. Like there's some of the players. So you look at some of the senior players. That'll be your Bruno Fernandes, your Casemiro's, your Marcus Rashford's, your Alessandro Martinez, your Dallos. It'll be probably more of them. Like you won't ask Garnacho or Manu, what do you think we should do with Erik Ten Hag? Because they won't bloody have it. They won't. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, then that's putting pressure on. So, the fact that they're asking some of the senior players, I'm sure, some of the Manchester United players, they're probably off on holidays now or getting ready for the Euros or whatever it may be. So, they're probably just, when last time they seen Ten Hag, they really, really don't know. But, what players are they going to ask? Bruno. Again, I can't say Bruno will say keep him. You just don't know. Ben Jacobs has come out and said this: fan sentiment has to be listened to, as you're crazy as an owner. And I actually agree with this as well. If you disassociate yourself with the fans, but Ineos want to be dispassionate, which means looking at things, Jesus Christ, analytically, and not getting sucked in by highs and lows. But yeah, I mean, when Ratcliffe came in, he said, fans matter. He wants the fans to have a say. But the fact that he doesn't really seem to be, it's just about the players and the previous results. He's not looking at what some of the fans say. Yeah, some of the fans want them to say. Yeah, some of the fans want Ten Hag to go. But at least, listen to what more the people want. It's a Manchester United fan base. It's a Manchester United fan base. It can be a bit all over the place. It could be bad at the best of times and be good, but when it comes to this situation with Ten Hag, it's split. So you can never be certain. But I always say I think majority of the Manchester United fan base want them to stay. But again, I can't speak for every Manchester United fan around the world. You can only speak from a guess or an opinion. Ben Jacobs has also said there may not be a public statement if Erik Ten Hag does stay. But the media will be informed. Surgeon speaker on the matter is not ruled out, but if he does, it'll be a general statement on the club as a whole. Punch Paint, how's things, Punch Paint? He's also said, I love how Ineos said it isn't about one game, but we know if we had lost versus City, he would have already been gone. Yeah, exactly. And that's what I said earlier on as well. If we lost on Saturday, he would have been gone Saturday night, Sunday morning, Monday morning at the latest. But yeah, exactly. He would have been gone. But the fact now is, you got told like this day last week, Di Marzio said he's going to be, he's confident Ten Hag's going to be sacked after the FA Cup final. Then Jacob Steinberg came out on Friday and said Ten Hag is going to be sacked after the FA Cup final, regardless of Manchester United win or lose. We won the cup final, which feels good to say that we won a cup final. But anyways, we won a cup final, and now it's a bit like, right, what do we do now? I mean, I even looking at Rackup's face when we won, it's a bit like, right, this. I expect. It's like he expected us to lose, and he's like, right, this is going to be a tough decision now, because you look at the fans who are buzzing at Wembley. I was buzzing. Every other Manchester United fan was buzzing, of course. But you do have to. He does have to look at what the fans want as well. Majority of the fans, because regardless of what Ineos do, they're gonna. No one's like, if they sack him, I'd be a bit like, what the fuck are you doing? If they keep him, I'd be like, right, fair enough, well done, good decision. You know what I mean? But then, like, has it gone on? Like, I wouldn't say it's gone on for long, because it's only went on. But like, again, I'm sure they were, looking at what Ten Hag has done since he's came in and what he's done this season. But as soon as they took over, it's not like they just after the Crystal Palace game said, right, really have to jump into this situation and make it quick. Like, I really, really don't get it. Really, really just don't get it. But a bit of breaking news here from Air Football. Benny McCarthy is set to leave Manchester United after not being offered a new contract by the club. When we look at Benny McCarthy, I mean, if there's a few videos of him going around, on YouTube that after the FA Cup, and I tell you what, he looks like he gets along with some of the players. He looks like he has a good vibe about him. But the fact that we're letting him go, yeah, it's an interesting one there that we didn't offer him a new contract. What's that mean? What's that mean? What does that mean? If you're not getting an offer of new contracts, what'll happen? But again, back to what Ben Jacobs has said. We should potentially find out what happens with Ten Hag today or tomorrow, and I hope we do. I really hope we do. But the fact is, I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm not going to hold my breath when it comes to Manchester United news. But look, what do we think? Do we think Ten Hag will remain, or do you think Ineos will sack him? I think give him another year, and if it doesn't work well then sack him. If they sack him, then I'll be like, right, fair enough, wasn't the man for the job. But again, that's what I'd like. That's what I'd like. I hope he gets another year and does well. And I think Manchester United will do a lot better next year with Ten Hag. I think we won't have them injuries again, and I think we'll finish top four. I think that'll definitely be what'll be done there. King Soldatov says, what have to use for your thumbnails? Canva. I actually got better at making thumbnails. I mean, when I started this content doing Man United news, I was rubbish. Trust me, go back to look, I was rubbish. But I've gotten better, I think, over time. So that's what I use. That's the thumbnails I use, and I think they're not doing too bad as well. Punchman says Manchester United do enjoy terminating contracts and people are on vacation. De Gea, I mean, De Gea should have got a better send off. De Gea should have gotten a better send off. I mean, I know, and I tell you what, I think the performance against Man City in the FA Cup final last year, I honestly think that was nail in the coffin for him. The second goal, not the first goal. The first goal that City scored was shambolic defending, if you ask me, and just too good for Man City. But the second goal, and then what happened in the Sevilla game, I think a few games, but that Man City game put a nail in the coffin. But the fact that we just let him go and he didn't get a good send off is ridiculous in my opinion. Because our last game at Old Trafford was Fulham, and he didn't know that was going to be his last game, and neither did I. And I didn't want the head to go. I mean, look, if the head came back tomorrow, I'd love it, but I don't think that'll happen. But Ben Jacobs, I mean, a bit about transfer budget here, which is a bit ridiculous if you ask me, because we won an FA Cup and we're in Europa League next season, so maybe I thought that would have helped us a bit of money-wise, get a bit more money. But Manchester United's budget will heavily depend on how much money they can bring in. The initial budget is expected to be somewhere around the £50 to £80 million market. So the fact that, as of now, according to Ben Jacobs, who we've had on the channel before, he's very good, he was said that our initial budget is expected to be around £50 to £80 million. Now, if that's true, that's ridiculous. Because look, right, you get a bit of dough for Casemiro, you get a bit of dough for Eriksen, you'll get a bit of dough for Sancho, you'll get a bit of dough for Mason Greenwood, and maybe you'll get a bit of dough if you sell a Lindelof or a Harry Maguire. And depends on what you do with Wan-Bissaka, because there is a bit of news with Wan-Bissaka. I look, as much as I don't think McTominay will go anywhere. But there is players there that we can get money for, but how much will it help? Richard says, "Sorry guys, it's a bit fast." No worries, Richard. You do what you have to do, pal. Weather's not that great today, though, is it? Where I am, anyways. But like 50 to 80 mil is like, but then it's funny. We're looking at a 70 million, a player who's been priced around 70 to 80 million pounds in Brentwick, but still, our initial budget is expected to be around 50 to 80 million pounds. Now that's from Ben Jacobs too. I hope that's not it. I hope that. I mean, look, I know Champions League, you get a bit more money for qualifying for the Champions League, but unfortunately that wasn't to be. But like, that's just. I look again. Yeah, like I said, you get a bit of money for Casemiro, Eriksen if we sell him, Greenwood, Sancho, and maybe Maguire, Lindelof, depending on what happens with them too. But like, I really hope that's not it. But I do think Sancho will go. But then, I mean, there's a bit of news about Sancho here. If Dortmund want to sign Ian Maatsen and Sancho, it's likely to cost them £85 million. So that latter has a price tag of around 50 mil. So, Maatsen probably won't be a loss. So Sancho for 50 million, like 50 million for Sancho, that wouldn't be bad. That actually wouldn't be bad. That wouldn't be bad. It just wouldn't be bad. Richard says, so seamlessly they're not going to spend all the player sales money on new players. Some of the new money is going to Carrington, and Dean, this part of Ireland is lovely at the minute. It's a bit cloudy where I am, a bit windy. It was raining earlier on today. But, I mean, look, if the weather's nice up north, I mean, send a bit down here if you can. It's meant to be nice on the weekends as well. I'm actually heading up to Cavan to watch Dublin play in the GAA, which I'm looking forward to. King, sorry, which one on Cam? Well, I'll be honest with you, it's not like you won't see it, because it's basically, I just made it from scratch. King, pal. So you won't actually see it. It's on. I made it myself. It was from scratch. So yeah, that's pretty much what it was there, pal. Richard says, I know Cavan well. Yeah, I'm heading up to Briefany Park, Kingspan Briefany Park. I'm heading up there, so looking forward to that. I mean, I heard the weather's meant to be good, so hopefully it stays like that. Bank holiday weekend. So hopefully it can be that. But I mean, back to Manchester United. We'll talk a bit about Michael Olise actually, because we spoke about Erik ten Hag. We're half an hour in, and I don't even think he dived into the show like I wanted it to do. So we'll talk about Michael Olise here. And look, if anyone wants to go back, you can still comment about Ten Hag and what have you, and I'll definitely do that. So Manchester United and Chelsea are the two clubs interested in Michael Olise. They're more advanced at the moment, but Chelsea did try and do a deal last summer, so they know the conditions as well. Given a straight choice between Man United and Chelsea, the player would prefer United. That's my understanding. I mean, look at Michael Olise, very good player for Crystal Palace. I don't think he may be 60, 70 million. So I do think the money we get for Sancho, maybe you should use that on a Olise. The money you get for Casemiro, use that on a midfielder, and then sell a defender. It's like the players will sell. We can't say, right? It's like, right, there's a bit of money, now let's use that on that. So that's probably what we'll have to do on top of our 50 to 80 million pound budget. I mean, we're absolutely running. We're spoiled for choice. I mean, I wouldn't mind 50 to 80 million pounds, but when it comes to signing players, you need a lot more money than that. But yeah, like Olise wouldn't be a player. I'd like Olise. Like the players I'd like is Olise, Todibo. I'd like us to sign another striker and a midfielder. I can't give you a striker or midfielder because maybe an Amadou Onana or Ruben Neves or Fofana from Monaco, I'm going to say. I think it's Monaco. Could be wrong, but correct me if I am. Maybe one of them. Oh, you know what? Maybe it's getting to the stage where I look at a left back too, but will we have enough? You know what I mean? But a striker is needed. A backup striker is needed at least to give Rasmus a bit of competition. Because if Rasmus has been injured, maybe 2 or 3 times this season, and then when he's out, we can have someone else in. But Olise, look, I wouldn't mind Olise, to be really blunt with you. According to transfer market, he says his price tag is around £55 million. Richard says Guirassy. Yeah, I mean, you have Guirassy as well. From Stuttgart, I think of what he plays. He plays for Stuttgart, not from Stuttgart. Yeah, I mean, Guirassy. Look, we're linked to him. I mean, we were linked to him last summer as well, weren't we? I don't think he costs a lot. I don't think he costs a lot, Guirassy. I actually don't think he'd cost a lot of money. I don't think we'll get an Ivan Toney because he may cost a bit more. He may cost a lot. America's Thuram. I mean, well, I say that, but supposedly on transfer market it says he's worth around 40 million euros. But that euro, so that could be more cheap when compared into pounds. I mean, he's had 1, 2, 3, 4 injuries this season. Hamstring, 2 hamstring, 3 hamstring, and then 1 stomach problem. 28. I don't know, I really don't know, I really don't know, Guirassy and 70 million, and he's a good boy. I mean, I wouldn't say he'd be my first choice, but don't be surprised if we'd be linked to him. We're linked to Evan Ferguson, we're linked to Pedro Neto. You look like, I remember the time we were linked to Benjamin Sesko. He probably wouldn't have been a bad boy, but I don't think we'll bring in a big, then an ex. I don't think we'll bring in someone incredible. I don't think that'll be the case. Maybe someone similar to like a Rasmus style, maybe depending. I don't think it'd be a high profile name. I'd love it, but I don't think that'll be it. Especially, how much should we have? How much should we actually have transfer budget wise? Richard says, plus still want Hossein as a backup. Yes, I mean, I suppose the Newcastle are looking at that, so that'll definitely be an interesting one there. But hopefully Manchester United can go in and, a bit of a smash and grab sort of thing. But Adebayo, Tosin, Adebayo and, same thing, same people, but Adebayo and Todibo, I wouldn't mind. A free agent and then someone from Nice, show me your money. How's things, mate? Pal, hope all as well. Richard says, I want Wheatley to be given a proper chance. Well, I'm sure we'll see a lot of Wheatley in the pre-season tournament, and I hope we do, because that's one thing I like when we watch your pre-season games. Again, they're not going to reflect a whole lot of who you really are, but people like Wheatley, Collier, Amas, Ogano, I'm just looking, a few other players. We spoke about a few other players the other night. You know what I mean? I'd love to see Ibrahimov get a good chance as well. There is a few players. We'll see a few of the U players play for us in the preseason this year, which I am looking forward to, because our academy is actually not that bad, which is very, very good. But Wheatley, I wouldn't mind. So I'm sure we'll see in preseason. I hope, anyways. Amaya says we're 21 away from cross 1,000. Please do subscribe if you actually haven't already. Thanks for reminding me away. Amaya. But yeah, please do subscribe if you haven't already. We're getting. I'll tell you what, I didn't think we'd be this close to 1,000 already, but I'm very, very confident we'll reach that 1,000 mark before the new summer kicks off. Richard says Sesko's too much like Rasmus. I wouldn't mind a Sesko, but I don't think we'll get him, because I think he was I think he plays for Leipzig or Salzburg. Is it Leipzig or Salzburg? Is it Leipzig or Salzburg? I think Leipzig. It's Leipzig. It's Leipzig. Play for Leipzig. I think he used to play for Salzburg. Could be wrong. Richard says Carabao Cup Wheatley at least on the bench. I wouldn't mind. He came on against Sheffield United, and I tell you what, he does a lot of pressing, which that's the thing about the young players. They come on, you try and give a good vibe. Show the fans, look, I'm gonna try. Just once you try and do your best, pretty much. He didn't do too bad, and he's tall as well, and I'm sure he has a bit of pace too. And I would have loved. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't close to scoring. Sorry, he wasn't far off scoring. I think El Bruno was trying. I mean, I think he said after the match, Bruno said, "I'm going to try and get you a goal." And unfortunately, it didn't happen. Then did he? He didn't come on against Newcastle now because Rasmus did. I think he only played against Sheffield United, and then I think he was off playing for the academy again. Sesko's not coming here. Arsenal maybe, because they have to replace their non-striker. We're going to need someone who's going to allow the board and to be taken off Rasmus. Yeah, look at Arsenal as well. They need a striker too. I always thought they'd go for like Ivan Toney, but it is what it is. There, Jesus loves an injury or two, maybe 3 or 4 of the season. Havertz not really a striker, but if he does the job, then fair enough. Richard says Leipzig. No, look, you're not the only one that has bad spelling. Trust me, I'm with you. Amaya says strikers are a very sticky situation. Good quality strikers are quite hard to find. Well, yeah, exactly. And if you find a quality striker, he's not going to be 20, 30 mil. He's going to be a lot more than that. So that is true, mate. You know what I mean? That is very, very true. You're not going to get. I think most of them are gone now. Most of the good, you're not going to get. I just don't think you're going to get a cheap one. I just don't think you're going to get a cheap, decent striker. Now it depends on what you're looking at. I would like us to look at maybe Marcus Thuram, but I think he was a free agent, but then he's now playing for I think it's Inter Milan. But I think he was a free agent, but then he got snapped up by Inter Milan. Sorry, Grassi's at Stuttgart. Yeah, Grassi's at Stuttgart, and Sesko is at Leipzig. Sesko is at Leipzig, and that's pretty much that. And again, you look at another player who we've been linked with, Joao Felix. You look at Felix, like, you know, what happens there? You look at Felix. Would he be interested? Someone again? Do people like tall strikers, or a bit like a Peter Crouch? Saying the boxing don't move, but obviously that's a joke. But like a tall striker has a bit of pace, or someone strong. Like you look at look at Aguero from Man City. You know what I mean? Like Felix. Would you prefer him or someone a bit taller? Richard says, I would take a chance on Evan Ferguson at the right price. Yeah, Evan Ferguson, I mean, someone's going to snap him up. Whether it's going to be this season or next season, it is going to be tough. But again, look at the new contract side of things. Funnily enough, it's pronounced Leipzig. You taking the piss at me, mate? Leipzig. That's because it's German, isn't it? Their German team. Yeah, I'm not saying that. Thank you very much. I would do that swap if it involves the problem with Greenwood. Yes, I mean, they're interested in Greenwood, aren't they, in Barcelona? Evan Ferguson might be hard to grasp. He signed a new deal with Brighton recently, right? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that is a bit of a kick in the teeth. So again, he probably won't be. Honestly, you don't get, like, I mean, you look at a striker these days, he's 20 years of age, you think he'd be only 10, 15 mil, roughly. You go in 60 mil. What? He's only played 5 games and scored 3 goals. Doesn't matter. But yeah, Evan Ferguson, he will be hard. Felix is a 9 and half, kind of a 10. I think he's too similar to Bruno. But yeah, no, like, that is the problem. I just like Felix probably not a bad player, but I will look up this Evan Ferguson bloke, because obviously I know who he is, but I want to look at the contract, because I thought I did see a photo not too long ago of him signing a new contract at Brighton. 2029 his contract expires, so he did sign a new contract recently at Brighton. And he's worth 50 mil on transfer market. From Bettystown made. I mean, look, me and Richard who are 2 lads from Ireland. We know. Well, I know Bettystown. Yeah, but yeah, he did. He has a few years left on his contract. He needs a he has a few years left on his contract, so it's going to be a tough. That's going to be a tough find. He learned German for 5 years. So Leipzig. I mean, I'm going to just stick with me Leipzig, but I didn't know that now. I didn't know that it was Leipzig. Bit of weird on that. But please do subscribe if you are anyone watching and like the video. It'd be much appreciated as always. We're getting ever closer to 1,000 subs. So if you are new, please do like the video and subscribe. Be much appreciated. He's a fellow Irishman too. He is. Al Richards, a fellow Irishman. He's from the top of Ireland, and I'm sort of from, the south of Ireland. Depending on what way you're looking at it on the map. Richard says, I agree with May, we do need a good number 6. Yeah, we do. A number 6 is needed, because Casemiro I don't think has the legs, so I think he'd be gone. There's a bit of news there back to Casemiro actually that Man United want around 50 million for Casemiro, but then basically Manchester United want around 50 million for Casemiro. The Saudi clubs who, contrary to popular belief, don't go crazy with transfer fees, are looking towards 30 million plus add-ons. Yeah, look, I think Casemiro will be heading to Saudi club, to be brutally honest with you. And then you look at, like, we could do another defender or two with Varane going, a midfielder, a striker. And what do we do with left back? You know, I mean, Luke Shaw and Malacia, who, I mean, Jesus Christ. I forgot. Well, I actually, when you were going to collect the FA Cup trophy on Saturday, I was looking at, obviously I knew who was in the end, but I was like, who's that? Is he new? Like, is he in the academy? But it was Malacia. I was like, fuck. And then obviously he has a totally different hairstyle to when I last really watched him play. Centre of Ireland, seeing where all happens. Exactly. That is very, very true. Cass and Varane need replacing now. The back six of outfield players need to be solid right now. They're peanut brittle. You're tired. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Evan Ferguson is a fellow Irishman as well. I just seen your comment there at the end. But yeah, I mean, look, Irish, you know what I mean? Look at Roy Keane, used to play for Ireland, you know what I'm saying? He was a brilliant player for Manchester United. So hopefully, if Evan Ferguson comes in, he can be the same. Yeah, take your call away, pal. Probably the missus. But yeah, I do agree that, you know, like, you look at, you know, like, it'd be like the spine would be probably a bit different next. Like, you still have Malacia, not Malacia in there. Jesus Christ, where did that come from? You have Maney and Bruno in there. They'll be in there. So who else? Because, like, you remember, you know, it used to be, like, just say it was Casemiro, Licha, and Varane. That's what it was. Now it's kind of like, you know, we need someone solid there. Can't play McTominay there. Can't play Christian Eriksen there, and you can't play Mason Mount there. It's like the only midfielder we have who DM, who I think is decent, is Kobe Manu. But But, like, again, I think, like, a midfield. If we don't sign a defensive midfielder, I'll be very, 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 very worried. On the same with a defender, like Todibo and Adebayo, bring them in, and then bring in a midfielder. You know, bring in a defensive midfielder. That's exactly what we should do, and then look at a striker. Like, my main priority would be a defense, midfield, striker. That. And so maybe we put a left back before striker or whatever you want to do there. I mean, you know, again, supposedly, you know, might are retaining an interest in the Wolves holding midfielder, Joao Gomez. There's someone there. And then you look at another, I mean, Gomez, pretty young. I don't know whether he'd do the job, but you never know, Manchester United. You know, like, again, look, we're interested in Jarrett Brantway, who's expected to be around £70 million. So that's a bit rough there. So that's, like, we're interested in, like, most defenders we've been hearing about is Todibos and Brantway. And Brantway, you know, spoke about earlier on, and someone said, you know, something like, they basically had an interview, I think it was Mail Sport or something like that. And basically said, I'm going to keep that to myself. It should come across the end of the screen there anyways. So, you know, that'll be interesting. Well, actually, just need to find up a bit of news. Also, Richard, do you remember? Again, never got to watch the man, but do you remember Kevin Moran by any chance? I mean, if anyone else remembers him, let me know because I have always have a good story about him because he's related to my county, um, Dublin, really. But yeah, basically Todibo. Someone asked him again, like Todibo. A lot of people want Todibo. I wouldn't mind us bringing in Todibo. That'll be who I'd want us to bring in. But like someone asked Todibo earlier on, if he wants to move to Manchester United, and he basically says, "I'm going to keep that to myself." So could we get him in? Is there talks going on there? You hope so. But Brantwaite is it's a bit too much. I mean, good defender, but I feel like with the price tag, I get Harry Maguire vibes. Punchpay says, I'm actually excited about this transfer window. Hopefully we get something before the US tour. Yeah, I love when we play games in the US. I do like that. I mean, I said that we're going to do the Arsenal watch along, Rangers watch along, and Rosenborg. I will be away for the Betis and Liverpool game, but I can do the Arsenal watch along. It is about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, but what else should I be doing at that time? But hopefully we do bring in about 3 or 4 players, at least two or three before then. Richard says, so Johnny Carey, our first real captain, he by the way fought against the Nazis in World War II, was from Dublin and played 9 positions including goalkeeper. He was 3 times as hard as Keane and loved United. I mean, did anyone see the video of Keane getting into a fight? I wouldn't say a fight, bit of an elbow into the face. Richard says, I watched Kevin many a time. Well, I have a story about Kevin Moore, just a quick one. Obviously, he's from Dublin. But he used to play for Dublin. And I think Manchester United, he basically played for both Manchester United and Dublin. And I think he played, again, if anyone doesn't know, Gaelic football, bit 20 minutes shorter than a football match. 70 minutes GAA. And supposedly, this is my dad who's been supporting Manchester United for a long time. I think he played 2 matches one day. Yeah, I think he travelled over. Again, I can't, but like my dad said, there's a story that he played for both Manchester United and Dublin, and I think in the same day he played both games, something mad like that. Anyways, but again, he'd have to tell the story better than me. But back to Manchester United, because that went a bit off pace there. But again, let's see what happens with Manchester United because Richard says both Roy Keane and Dennis Irwin played GA for Cork, and Dennis Irwin was an All Ireland winner. I mean, winning All Ireland it's not easy to win. I mean, unless you're from Dublin. But yeah, no, Kevin Moore, and I think he played for Ireland as well. Like, Ireland, Manchester United, Dublin. Like that like, I mean, Jesus Christ, how you never, like, I'm sure the age about 10 years. I'm sure the age about 10 years, but look, it is a bit. I mean, look, the Irish players, majority of them have had good success at Manchester United. But Kevin Moore won 2 All Irelands with Dublin. But anyways, that's enough of that. So, while Todibo deal looks easier on paper due to Surgery and Ratcliffe's connections with both clubs involved, any deal would have to be at a realistic price to avoid any major scrutiny. I mean, look, I went Todibo, but again, I thought Ineos, Ratcliffe, Nice, link, relationship, all that sort of stuff would have helped. But look, you never know. But I do hope, like honestly, I do hope we bring on Todibo. I really, really do. Like I've seen it we were linked to Chalobah from Chelsea. No way, never in a million years. Don't want them. They're Manchester United. He's more of a backup, if you ask me. If even that reserves bench warmer. Um, but yeah, it is a bit of a mad situation. But I do hope that we can bring him in. Supposedly, like you look at Saudi, who some of the Saudi clubs, like El Nasser are interested in Wan-Bissaka. There's a Saudi club interested in Casemiro. Like if you get rid of Wan-Bissaka, which I like Wan-Bissaka, he is very, very good. But yeah, I do hope that we again, if we sell Wan-Bissaka, I want to bring someone else in because Dalot is sort of he seems to be more of our starting right back now. That seems to be his position. But Wan-Bissaka on his day is very, very good. 1-on-1 as well. The tackles, Spider-Man, all that sort of stuff. But then if you sell him, there's a bit of money there as well. But look, Manchester United was supposedly entertain offers, and then you look at Harry Maguire too. Supposedly, Tuchel was interested in him when he was when Tuchel was managing there. About Manchester United, maybe he could. I don't think Vincent Kompany would be interested in signing Harry Maguire, not because he's Harry Maguire, but because he's Manchester United player and Vincent Kompany. Yeah, I mean that's just mad to believe. It really, really is. Richard says Kevin Moore is the only man in the FA Cup history to get sent off, and the FA overturned it and gave him a medal. Yeah, what a man. Typical FA though, what being dickheads and then realising that you were dickheads and then turn it around. Amaya says Wan-Bissaka cannot be sold for anything less than 30 million. Steps up in finals, absolutely clamps the player. You need these type of players for the X factor. And he also does say 20 short of 1k. Lovely, we're getting there. We're getting there slowly but surely. Right? We're getting there a lot closer than I thought. But again, I do think we have to thank everyone watching and even the special guests we've had on like Jay Mully and all them sorts of people. What I go. But yeah, Wan-Bissaka, I don't really want to sell him, but that's just how it is. Like you look at, I wouldn't want to sell him though. I really wouldn't want to sell him. Like honestly, I wouldn't want to sell him. That's the last bit of news, is it? Yeah, that's the last bit of news. But I do like Wan-Bissaka, and I would keep him because he's good on 1-on-1. Like he's good. Like he's good against if the opposition has a quick winger, Wan-Bissaka has pace. And then Wan-Bissaka just all of a sudden tackles out of nowhere. That's why he's like a spider. He's spider legs. You know what I mean? He's flexible. You don't think he's gonna tackle, and then there's a bang. Like Casemiro, Wan-Bissaka would make tackles that not many other fullbacks would make because he times it to an absolute T. Absolute T. I mean, even Richard says he keep Wan-Bissaka as backup. Every player has a price. I know Wan-Bissaka at the bits, but same for Scotty, there's a price. Exactly, there is a price. There is a price, no doubt about it. And yeah, Richard, he did play well on Saturday. And back to what I was saying, he done well against Doku, who's a quick winger. He does do very well against most wingers. And you look at it, Dalot was obviously left back. In that game, and then having Dalot left back, Dalot's a good player. Love Dalot, had a brilliant season, but when it comes to 1-on-1, Wan-Bissaka's your man. Like yeah, exactly. Most tricky wingers. They're so again. I'm not it's like everyone going back to Todibo when we played PSG and we beat them 2-1 during the COVID days. You know what I mean? But Wan-Bissaka is a good player. Like he can be a very good player. And when it comes to quick wingers who are a bit tricky, he can do a job. But like I said, when he's good, and a good backup there would be brilliant. If he's a good backup, happy days. I mean, my dad is obsessed with Wan-Bissaka. He loves our Wan-Bissaka. And again, I can see why. Wan-Bissaka is an old-fashioned right back, great in defence, but useless going forward. Yeah, he's there again. Yeah, I mean, you look at Dallo as well, who going forward is not too shabby. Dallas he is a good fullback. Wan-Bissaka, Wan-Bissaka going forwards. Look how he comes forwards a few times, but he is a better defensive fullback. He has been a defensive. He's a good defender. He's good at defending, attacking. Yeah, no, I do agree. He should just stay there and don't move. Tuanzebe has been solid for Ipswich. I was actually we sold him. I mean, I was a bit like, but yeah, no, he has been very, very solid. I mean, I don't remember Menji. Like, oh Jesus, Menji and Tuanzebe, what? And Bailey. God, I don't remember Eric Boye. Oh, he was good, but injuries are a big problem for him, and he had to go. A bit like Varane, actually, good defender, but obviously Varane much better than Bailey. But when it comes to injury history, it's not good. Ramea says exactly, Rich. He's not that useless going forward. He stepped up. He's on the ball a lot, and even he's quite good at underlapping and even great at pressing from the front. Yeah, exactly. And well said, Ramea. He is very good, and he has pace too. Like when you see Wan-Bissaka 1-on-1, he's gonna win it. He's gonna win it. You know what I mean? And even if he, messes up the first tackle, the second tackle he'd be a lot better. But yeah, he is a good fullback, and yeah, I mean, I think when we played Crystal Palace last season, when we drew against them 1-1 at Selhurst Park, Wan-Bissaka, he turned around, seen Wan-Bissaka, and was like, shit. And Wan-Bissaka put in a crucial tackle, and look what happened there. But again, it's fine. Again, like Richard says, there, his final cross is a bit is poor. But defensive wise, he's solid, and tackling as well. I think when it comes to Wan-Bissaka and defending, he does well. But if it's Wan-Bissaka and attacking, yeah. Amaya says Tuanzebe and Menji both went out for peanuts. We should have got 10 million for them. If James Trafford the mug was 20 million, yeah, we like I said, we bend over backwards when it comes to selling players. Like, I mean, when we sold Zidane Iqbal, but I still can't believe we sold Alvaro Fernandez. I'm bloody raging we sold Alvaro Fernandez. Would have liked him to keep him. Really thought there was a player there. I like that Alvaro Fernandez, young, pacey, but unfortunately we had him go to I think it's Granada now. There's some not all that team anyways. But look, we're gonna end the show there. Again, if anyone has any fun shows that we could do tomorrow, because it's Friday, the final day before the weekend, please do let me know. I'm hoping to get a show on Saturday, but like I said, I will be traveling up north. Richard says, Tuanzebe, I always thought we could have kept even for backup. Yeah, look, I was ashamed that we sold some of the players we did. I really don't know what we done, but Tuanzebe, yeah, I'll switch now. Did he play for... No, that was Menji, wasn't it? Was it Menji that played for Luton? No, that's just me signing him on a FIFA career mode when I used to play. I don't play it anymore, but yeah. But yeah, no, look, it is going to be interesting to see. But like I said, we're going to end the show there. Amaya's heading off. Big up Amaya. Big up Richard. Menji. He did play for Luton. Right, that. See, knew I was getting it there. But look, thanks to everyone watching. Hopefully we'll try and do something fun tomorrow. But look, if it is to be Ineos, we'll discuss that. But if I don't come up with anything fun, don't come at me. I'm working on it. But there is a lot of fun shows coming in the next couple of weeks over the summer, especially. Thank you everybody for watching, and I'll speak to you all on the next one. Bunch of legends, as always.